Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elke Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started.
In this episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast, we're talking to you about our beginnings and our story and how we've gotten to the point in time today where we own our own $1 million online businesses on Zazzle.
That's right. Today we are going to talk about our stories. Jen's going to talk about how she got started on Zazzle, and I'm going to talk about how I got started on Zazzle. And here we are so many years later, actually 13.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we have made $1.5 million on Zazzle. And that's how all this started, because we started telling people how much we make on Zazzle, and they go, tell us more.
Yeah.
We want you to tell us how, you did that. And so it's
And
like,
how can I do it?
Yeah, and how can they do it? And then was like, well, we're just doing it online, and we're just basically Zazzle designers who thought that we could just make money online using our creativity. But we didn't realize at the time that it was quite a struggle when we first started. And we then figured it out, and we created something called the 5 strategies, and that's what we really use all the time, even now to this day in our business, to make sure that we're making as much money as possible and being as profitable as possible. And then we also realized that in our struggles and our journey over those last 13 years, we've also created our business framework that we now stick to, because when I first started, I tried so many different things. And if I had used my business framework, the perceivable, passive, profitable framework, then I would have already ditched a lot of things along the way that I would have not spent so much time on trying to get them to work. I would have just stuck with what was working and not continue to do things that weren't working. But at the time, I was just really kind of desperate. So I wanted to just make it work online. And if you've done the math already, you'll realize that 13 years ago, that actually was a crazy time. It was when people still didn't even trust the internet to go shopping. And I was trying to make it all work on Zazzle, which was a company that had just started out. And basically they've been in existence for 15 years, and we started 13 years ago. So this is going to be a really interesting little journey down memory lane for us. So thank you so much for being part of the episode. Am I starting?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to start. Okay. Well, 13 years ago, I discovered Zazzle, and Zazzle's an online platform where customers can come and buy unique products that they can customize and make their own, which is cool. But what I didn't realize until I really got into figuring out what Zazzle's all about for creatives, that's when I realized that as a creative, I can start a store online for free and start posting my artwork and photography. And I love doing anything creative. So I also did a lot of text-based designs. And you start getting paid royalties for that when the customer buys something, and they like Zazzle takes care of everything else. But you as the designer, in this case me, a long time ago, started up on Zazzle by adding things to my virtual store. And then customers started buying, and I was like, what? This is so cool. But what I realized back then was I was trying to do so many other things. I didn't even really pay attention to the fact that Zazzle was working for me and all these other things that I thought what I should be doing. Like I was doing, getting paid for writing articles. I was getting, paying for sites to host my images of my paintings. I was also selling stock photography. I was doing blogging, and I was getting paid to do blogs on a site that no longer exists now, which is Squeedo. And why was I doing all this? The reason was because I thought that I had this dream that I wanted to be creative online, making money passively. Why? Because for my entire life, everyone around me always said, well, you're never going to make money being creative. You have to get a real job.
Yeah.
And so that was very, very tough for me because it's just like really at the core of my being thought that I really needed to be doing something creative. But I listened to everyone else around me and did the logical and the prudent thing to do. And I got myself some degrees from a university. Some degrees. Yeah, I had to go all out, didn't I? And then I got a corporate
PhD.
job. I did, yes. And then I went all out and got a PhD. And it has to be in sciences on top of everything else. And I ended up in the pharmaceutical industry, and I did love that. I really loved helping people. And I knew that the work that I was doing in clinical trials was going to help people. But I didn't really I didn't dig the work. Like I really didn't like it. I was just doing it because I was good at it, but not because it really had my heart and soul in it.
Well, you were doing it also because everybody told you that that's how the only way you could be successful.
Yeah, exactly. And, if you're resonating with that right now, listening to this, the key here is do what you love. Oh my gosh, life is too short. And a couple of things happened in my life where I realized that even though I was really, really grateful for my degrees and my job, which was giving me 6 figures at the time, I was missing out on the things that really mattered to me. And when I decided to sit down and say, look, this family matters to me, time with my family matters to me, and being able to create those memories and to be able to take care of my family with my kids. I have 3 kids, Jen being one of them, and also my family is very tight and closely knit, and so we are interested in making sure that we're doing as much as we can for each other. And the more and more I worked, the more I was traveling, the more that my mom had to take care of all the kids because I was gone for 2 weeks at a time. The more I worked and I said, hey, I've done a really good job. How about that raise? It was like a 1% raise or 2% raise. And then on top of that, they said I needed to have a higher amount of education if I wanted to higher salary. So I basically had already peaked. And it was frustrating because how was my life going to look like if all I did was work and I never enjoyed my kids and wasn't able to do the thing that I really loved, which was being creative. And so that was a huge shift for me because at one point I just woke up and I said, that's it. No matter how much money I'm making, I've got to make this work for me because I need to be happy in my life because I think I have more to give than just all my energy towards something where someone pays me a salary. And so that's when I started trying anything and everything online to do with creativity. And I love writing. I actually have a bunch of articles published, not only for science, but also in journals because of creative writing. And I thought, I'm going to make money doing being an author and so on. And I am an author now with the book Create Online and Grow Rich, which is kind of cool. But it wasn't going to make me that amount of money consistently year after year that I was looking for because I really wanted to just quit my day job. So tried that, tried selling my art online, tried selling my abilities online with writing, photography, artwork. And then I came across Zazzle and I go, what is that? Is it actually real? Is it legit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the beginning, back in 2008, people were not comfortable buying online, and it was just a website. So I was thinking, am I really going to get paid money if something sells, and are they truly going to tell me when something sells? I know it's kind of weird to feel that way right now, right? But
So
that's
you were
the way.
nervous that you didn't even,
Yeah.
you weren't going to get told that you sold something?
Yeah, because there were some other sites that I'd been on,
Yeah, that's true.
including Cafe Press, and I won't name some others because they're not even around anymore. But they just didn't feel like I was in control.
Well, because it was so new, I think, and it was in a space when the internet had been around for a couple of years, but this was like the pivotal point where people started to buy online, and they had started this new movement, and people didn't actually understand the actual experience of buying online.
Yeah.
Now you buy your groceries online. That was unheard of in 2008, right?
Yes.
And so it's come such a long way. And yeah, that's funny that you thought that.
Yeah, and I remember one of the first things where I was making sales like that. I started making sales, and Zazzle actually told me what my sales were, and they paid me out, which was kind of cool. It was like, this is a thing. I think I should keep going with Zazzle. And then, but to understand the context, there was this one lady, actually this happened more than once, but this one in particular stood out. And I always tell this story because it's so fun. It really tells you the perception of and the perspective of what was going on online. And it was like miraculous that I made even any sales based on that, because this lady, she contacted me through my email that I had listed on my store on Zazzle. And she said, look, I really like your product and I want to buy it, but I don't trust the internet. So she, even though she didn't have any more connection with me and there wasn't any more like confidence building in the process, she just thought that if she gave me her credit card information and I made the sale for her, like the purchase for her, then she would be more comfortable buying from me, because that's where I was selling my product, which was online on Zazzle. That's really eye-opening, right?
Yeah.
Well, no one does that anymore. Like who would send their credit card information to someone they didn't know? But back then, that was the mistrust of the internet.
Yeah.
So we've definitely come a long way since then. But it also made me realize that what I was doing was presenting a really important brand online and a service. And I was using this platform, Zazzle, where it just gave me that opportunity to create that customer connection, even though Zazzle takes care of all of the big stuff, like making the product, shipping it out, billing the customer, all the things that I was not very happy doing. It actually still allowed me to have that ability to present myself as an authentic brand that customers would come and be drawn to and want to buy, to the point where they give me their credit card information, even though they don't trust the company that's going to give them their product. That's kind of fun.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I don't even think that that wouldn't happen at all.
No,
this
not
time.
anymore. Not anymore. But and that customer was very happy, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was the beginning journey, and I love that. And guess what? When it started, I was thinking, okay, I've got to make this work. I've got to replace my income to the point, like my 6-figure income that I was getting from my day job, my 9 to 5, so I can finally move forward with this, because it showed potential. But I was super scared to make it work.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, well, it's just making me a couple of dollars. And I just had no idea whether it would be sure, right? I wouldn't be able to count on it. And one day it got to the point, though, where it was actually you, because I was taking everybody to the first babysitter that they would go to before school, and then the other babysitter would get them after school, and then I would pick them up after work. And I was about to go to another, on another 2-week trip where I wouldn't see my kids, and I was really sad about the whole thing. And then you, in the morning, when we got ready and I was about to drop you off, you said, Mommy, where am I supposed to be today? And which babysitter? And it just oh my God, it broke my heart. I just thought, that's it. I can't do this anymore. I can't. I know I didn't really want a nanny, and that just doesn't make sense. And it wasn't really the fact that I was away from work or away from the kids because I was doing work. It was more that my kids weren't having the life that I thought they should have growing up, right? I wanted to be with them more. I wanted to give quality of life in terms of not just dropping them at babysitters and picking them up and having an hour every night. And the commute was terrible. My job prospects were limited. And I was already working at the company that was noted as one of the top 5 in Forbes that was paying attention and doing things for women who wanted to balance their life and family and job, career, and everything, right? They were literally known for that. That's why I went and got a job there, and I was not feeling it. So I quit. I just up and quit. And everyone was very surprised, including myself, including my husband. But I said, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I've got to go all in. I've got to burn bridges, and I've got to make this work. And so that's what I did. And that now you can maybe ask me, like, where should I start? Because it was interesting because it was scary.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you, what were your emotions and what were your thoughts going through? And I know that you just said you have to go all in, but it takes guts to do that.
Yeah, yeah, it takes guts.
And you must have been extremely like nervous of the unknown, not knowing what will work and what won't work, and overwhelmed probably because now you've had to remove an income source and make up for the fact that money's not coming in anymore.
No, it was very tough initially, and I don't recommend doing the quitting thing. Make sure you're set up. Do some like moonlighting on Zazzle first, and then when you start to feel like you've got it. But I guess for me, I'd just been doing so much all the time for everyone else. I finally needed to do something for me. And I was willing to take that risk to move forward. But I think in a way that was helpful for everyone now because it really forced me to make this work. And what is it that needed to be done and what should not be done? And that's, I think, where I really developed the 5 strategies, because if it wasn't for those 5 strategies, I wouldn't have started to see any progress. I finally had to take the business that I was thinking I was running properly on Zazzle and make it truly run like a business. Whereas before I was doing it as a side hustle. I was doing it like because, and like after I, had enough time to finish doing everything with you and I wasn't too tired, I'd do some work like at 11 or 12 o'clock at night on Zazzle. No wonder I wasn't like moving forward and getting where I needed to go.
Yeah. And I think also the 5 strategies have an underlying component to it where they were built out of obviously building a proper business and setting your business up properly on Zazzle, but also that they're structured so that you're living a life that you like and that you love and that you're doing things that you love, because that's part of your story is that you were working in a day job, in a corporate job that you absolutely were not loving at that point in time.
Yeah, and I enjoyed doing it, but I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. And so the 5 strategies helped you build your business, but then also live the life that you wanted to live.
Yeah, and that's, I think, also where we came up with the perceivable, passive, profitable business framework, because I could perceive myself doing this, 9-to-5 job, but it wasn't passive, and that's what I really want, because I want to do things with my money. I don't want to just work hourly and get money for each hour. And then the profitable means that I could make as much money as I wanted to, and I was hitting that ceiling with my 9-to-5 job, even though I'd done everything right in society to get where I needed to go, but it wasn't getting me what I wanted, which was to have the income to do the things I needed to do for my family, and also have the time to spend with my family. And so I think it was the time and the freedom and the location freedom as well that really finally set me to that point where I said, that's it, I'm done. So I don't have to be somewhere to get paid to do something. And I'm really loving it now, because for 13 years, I've been able to enjoy so many freedoms. I've been able to be at home with my kids ever since, Jen, you've had the best life ever, because you can be home with your mom, and I do things like walk them to school in the morning. They come home for lunch, and I know they're small things, but boy, did they ever mean a lot. And they have generated so many really great memories for my kids and for me as well, which is awesome. But I didn't want to trade that kind of energy and memories for being resentful that I wasn't making money. And so I needed that business to also make me the money I wanted in replacement of what I was doing with my corporate job. So that's where Zazzle came in, and I needed to ramp up my game to make sure that I made the money on Zazzle that I needed in order to live that life financially the way I want to, have financial freedom.
Yeah.
And what happened was it took a long time because there were no coaches. There was no program. There was very little help on the Zazzle forum. Still not very much help. Everyone's very guarded. So I wanted to figure out how to do this myself, and I needed to, right? Because otherwise, how was I going to make this work? And all the other companies like Redbubble, Society6, Cafe Press, anything else that was out there that I was working online with, I had quit those, but I was starting to realize that Zazzle was starting to work more than the others. And so I put a lot more energy into the Zazzle business, using Zazzle and them paying me a royalty. And it started to flourish. But it took about 3 years before I reached 5 figures. And then another year before I reached 2 years before I reached 6 figures. But then I was consistently making 6 figures, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's a very nice business that while I was home with the kids, I was building it up. Because I'd gotten to 6 figures, I could work less. I worked about 20 hours a month. I initially worked a lot more hours, even a week, but I needed to really work it out, right? Now, if we tell our students work 20 hours a month, because they have everything, they've got the business strategies, they've got the step-by-step videos, they just need to do the work. Whereas with me, I had to literally try a whole bunch of stuff, and maybe 90% of it failed. And then the 10% worked, and it's like, oh God, thank God that's working. So keep doing that, get rid of the other stuff, regroup, do more, set things up again. And then it's like, okay, now it's working better, working better.
Have you heard about our Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Facebook group yet?
Are you a Zazzle designer who is struggling to find a community where you'll receive training, content, and be able to connect with like-minded creatives who also want to crush it on Zazzle? Then the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Facebook group is perfect for you.
Joining is easy. Click the link in the show notes and we will see you on the inside. Now let's get back to the show.
And that's when you popped into
I know,
the whole
that's
story.
when I came in because I had heard about Zazzle. We started on the same, I think, not in the same month, but you found it first because you were researching a whole bunch of things to make money online with. And that's where we were in a space where we were doing the articles and we were doing a whole bunch of other random things online to try and make money on different platforms. And then she came across Zazzle and she was like, Jen, this has to be too good to be true because it's all perfect. I don't have to do anything else except design a product, poster for sale, and the money comes magically into my account. And so we started at the same point in time, but I was at this time in university and I really wasn't paying too much attention to Zazzle and making it an actual business. It was kind of a thing that I did as a hobby on the side after class or when I could. And so when she started to actually make money and started to work out the things that worked and didn't work, because she started to realize that she needs to treat it as a business. And that's where the formation of the 5 strategies came into was that she realized there were certain things that she needed to do consistently to make the money that she needed to make. And then so she told me, Jen, you have to treat it as a business now and you have to do these specific things because if you don't, you're never going to get to the amount of money that I'm making. And she was making, and it's always kind of consistent where at the beginning you were making 10 times more than I was ever making. And that was a lot saying because so I was like, I need that because I want to, that was my goal. I was striving for more. And I thought that I could make it work on my own, just doing things here and there.
Mom doesn't know what she's
talking about.
Well,
I never said mom doesn't know what she's talking about, but I thought that I had my own vision and I wanted to do it the way that I wanted to do it. But then when I realized that she was making a lot more money and she was actually working probably a lot less harder than I was because the things that you were doing were working for you, then I started implementing the stuff that you were working on. And those became the 5 strategies that we now teach in our Profit by Design Academy. And when I implemented those 5 strategies, I started to see amazing results. My income went from $100 to $1,000 in very short amount of time. And then I was consistently making about $6,000 every month in my second or third year of actually implementing the strategies. And this was sort of still doing it, not all like full time. I was in university and I had classes and then I had a part-time job. But then after that, like when I decided to actually implement everything properly and work really, really hard on it, I didn't need to have a job. And I was able to travel and do the things that I wanted to do because my Zazzle income paid for everything. And I was just so fortunate that you found Zazzle, first of all, and then she gave me the strategies that she was working on and said, here, like take the information that I've processed, that I've implemented, and implement it into your store, and you'll see how it works for you. And after that, like now it's history, as you said, like this is where we are today. And today we've built, each of us individually have our own stores on Zazzle, and we still consistently make money on Zazzle. And we've built up our Zazzle businesses to be $1 million businesses because of the strategies that we've implemented.
Yeah.
And Zazzle has changed our lives. When I first started out on Zazzle, I was in university, and I actually decided that I didn't want to be in university anymore because I needed to find my own path and my own vision. What I was studying was interesting to me, but it wasn't my ultimate end goal. And I was frustrated and lost, actually. I felt very overwhelmed by all of the classes that I was taking. I felt very overwhelmed by the being in the university setting. Like I was a very big introvert. I felt very uncomfortable in certain situations. And Zazzle was a really great outlet for me because I am very creative. And I wanted to be able to sort of just be incognito, so to speak, because I also took fashion courses and I did a lot of designs, but I got very defeated because the outside world felt overwhelming to me. So I was very nervous to take my designs to an actual store and pitch myself and sell my designs, or actually make the effort to become known within that community. And I realized that Zazzle gave me the opportunity to be creative and have a creative outlet and to express myself without having to be a big brand name or compete with so many people in that marketplace, or, you know, follow the path that I was on, because I was just, as I said, very lost and overwhelmed. And I actually was questioning a lot on what I wanted to do with my future. I had no idea. And Zazzle gave me an opportunity to actually build a business and to live the life that I wanted to live the way I wanted to live it, because Zazzle is such an amazing opportunity where it gives you everything, basically. Zazzle provided the opportunity for me to have a creative outlet and to express myself and create things that I loved and, you know, still love creating. And it gave me the opportunity to travel and to
work when you want to.
Work when I want to, be my own boss, have my own hours, take months off. We've literally taken about 6 months off, or to even a year, where we just maintain our Zazzle businesses and we work on it here and there, but we're not spending hours and hours and hours working away. We've obviously had to build up our Zazzle business to get to that level, but Zazzle has opened up so many amazing opportunities for us that 13 years ago, if you would have put down on a piece of paper all of the things that we've been able to do because of Zazzle, I would have said, hey, you're crazy. Like, that's never going to happen. And
that would have, I wouldn't have believed it.
So that's my story. And so when I, was in university and I was completely lost and had no idea on where I wanted to go, and I was presented with Zazzle, it just changed my world. And now, as you said, we've come.
What have you done in the past, like in the last 10 years even?
Well, I lived I guess I haven't even told my story really. So I was in university, and then I decided that I wanted to move over to Mallorca, Spain, which is basically Europe's vacation spot in the Mediterranean. And it's an island off the coast of Spain. And I lived there for 10 years because Zazzle gave me the opportunity to work where I wanted, when I wanted, as long as I had Wi-Fi on my computer. Yeah. And so
And you traveled back and forth.
I traveled back and forth.
All over.
I traveled all over Europe. I did amazing trips within Europe and then within Canada and the US. And after that, not after that, but during that, I was just extremely independent. And Zazzle gave me the opportunity
That was your full income.
Yeah, my full income. And my big why, like we teach our students to find their why when they first start on Zazzle, because your why gives you that passion and that driving force to keep you motivated to keep doing the things that you're doing. And my why when I first started out, and still it's a big part of my why, is my love of travel and just being able to be who I want to be and do the things that I want to do in that moment. And so, yeah, I've traveled so many different places because Zazzle has given me the income to do so. And you were able to stay at home with your kids and then also now travel and do all the amazing things that we do together because our Zazzle income allows us to do so.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Zazzle income. I mean, it's money, right? It's just that the format where you're getting that money from is now very, very much aligned with our perceivable, passive, profitable business framework, because now, we can actually perceive us doing this constantly online, and what it is aligned with us. So the fact that the business model allows us to be creatives and you to be a creative and still make money, that's alignment, that's perceivable. You can now really feel that you can do that. You can be who you are, who you need to be by being creative and still making money doing that. Because everyone, for most of my life at least, I'm sure it's happened to you as well, is you can't make money being creative. It's like, that's a bunch of garbage. It's not. It maybe was not as easy to do it before the internet, but the internet's been around for quite a while, and there's lots of opportunities out there, including Zazzle. Then the passive is the really big part, because who wants to work all the time? I don't want to work all the time. And so having my products on Zazzle work for me all the time while I'm not working is the best opportunity, right? You set up an investment portfolio, you get some stocks or some dividends or some mutual funds. That's passive income, right? But you still had to get the money and you had to put the stocks in. You have to watch your investment broker, make sure he's doing a good job for you or she. And so, but that's basically a passive income source. Your house is increasing in value. That's a passive income source, because if you sell it and you make money on it because the real estate value has gone up, then that's passive income. But I wanted passive income that wasn't just about selling my house, because I want to live in my house. And I didn't want to just, invest in the stock market, because guess what? It's just such a weird ride right now. Even though it's supposed to be down, it's up. I don't know what's happening with the market. It's
like unpredictability. I think you wanted the stability.
And I want passive income that's stable. And I want to be in control of how much I make in terms of that passive income. And so Zazzle has just given that opportunity. I still have to do the work. Jen still has to do the work. You still have to do the work. But the platform itself gives you such a great opportunity, because it's like business in a box, really, for creatives. And I love that. So it's in alignment. So that's the perceivable. It's possible because, especially now for you, you've got all the training. If you want to be part of any of our courses or coaching, then you'll realize that it's just really done for you. You just have to follow the instructions, which is something that was missing for us. But now that we know what to do, it is possible and perceivable, because we know what works, and we know that consistently, if we just implement those 5 strategies, then we can add more money to our pot, which is really nice. Just like, where else can you be that predictable about your business? And then the profitable part is the kicker, because you're making enough money to be at the level of what it is that you want. And these days, it's really tough to get by on 5 figures in terms of your income. You need something around 6 figures. And there's this misperception, which again relates to the perceivable aspect of the pillars, is that a lot of people don't understand how Zazzle works and how they can make money on Zazzle. And so therefore, once you do know that, though, you realize this is a very good opportunity, and it's stable, it's long-term, they've been around for 15 years plus. And they're a family-owned company that's going to consistently make it work for them, because that's their mission in life, in their statement. And anything that they've done recently has been very clearly stated, like with their actions, which is what I hear loud and clear, is they are interested in continuing this business model because they have a passion for allowing creatives to make money. So it's all aligned. So it's super perceivable that this is a way for you to make money using your creativity, just like it was for us. And the profitable is that you need a computer, you need internet, and you need maybe a couple of expenses to, if you want to buy some graphics to use in your designs or whatever materials you use to create photography or artwork. But besides that, there's no other income or outlay of expenses. And so therefore you have a lot more income that's profit for you. We get about 85 to 90% of our money is profit that we receive from Zazzle. Then we do stuff with it, like we buy more equipment or whatever. Or we buy the next program for being like Photoshop or something. But that's our decision because we want to run our business.
Yeah.
Whereas in terms of take home, you'll see like a lot of people go online, especially nowadays with COVID-19. There's lots of people talking about make money online. It's awesome. It's great. Here's my Lamborghini. Here's my jet. But that's not what we are, and that's not who we are. We are here in a way that says, hey, we are simple creatives that just wanted to make money online, and all of a sudden it's a great business that we've come across, and it's been long-term, and it's making us a nice income that's in the six figures a year after year, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's enough for us, right? But if we wanted to, we could up our game. But most of the people that are saying, hey, they own this and that, and it's making this much money, what's happening is that's how much their revenue is generating. But then they maybe have to pay like almost 90% of that in Facebook ads, or pay shipping and handling to get the product to the customer. Or, they've got to set up a website and they pay a web developer, all kinds of costs in running a business. Whereas that's the great beauty about Zazzle. It's the perfect, perceivable, passive, profitable income stream and business because it does everything for you. You just go log in and you sign up and you get your own store. You get the tools to create store categories. You have all the products already there for you. You just have to pick which ones you want to put your design on. Imagine having to spend time on the phone or even contact or go visit suppliers and check them out, check and see if they've got like really good quality printing. All these things are just something that you don't have to deal with. Like I said, business in a box.
Yeah, no, Zazzle's amazing.
And all the things that it's done for us. Oh my gosh, we've traveled so many places because we love to travel. But we've also done things like paid off, in my case, paid off my house. And I've got investments. And it's all because of the income that I've received from Zazzle. And I've also paid for all my kids to go to university. And yeah, it's just a lot of perks when you actually keep most of the money that you earn, and you earn enough. And that's where we just fell in love with Zazzle.
So we really enjoyed telling you about our story on Zazzle and how we've gotten to where we are today. And we want to tell you and inspire you that you can do the same. Everybody on this planet basically has the opportunity to make money online with Zazzle, as long as you decide to put in the work and work smarter, not harder. And Zazzle opens up so many amazing possibilities for you. So thank you for listening to our stories, and hopefully it's inspired you to take your story and make it the story that you want to create.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear about your story. We love hearing about Zazzle success stories. And if you're interested, you can always check out our website and see if there's anything that we can help you along the way with your Zazzle journey.
So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elke Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clark and at Elke Clark. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.